So very simple procedure up to this point. Very simple. I'm going to go and get some ice, so I'm going to get myself ready before I start. Okay? Can you guys see? Okay, the reason I'm being very deliberate is because this sauce right here, literally speaking, you will have no idea what you guys are doing. Because 185 is not something you're going to put a thermometer in there, right? And hopefully everything is right. Because the entire thing has to be in motion. Because otherwise, at 185, guess what? It's going to be scrambled eggs. You guys understand what I'm saying? And we are not going to be using a whisk while we are trying to finish the sauce. Because then all you are really doing is, oh yeah, some part is cooking, but I'm going to agitate it so I can break up the body, right? But when everything is all said and done, it looks nice, cool it, and you're going to have separation. Does that make sense, right? So, in effect, we are not hoping that all the water dissipates. That's not what we're hoping for. We are trying to encapsulate the water vapor, right, with our custard base. Yes? So it becomes thick, right, guys? So we got the vanilla broken in two, so we're going to go ahead and add the yolks. Now I'm going to whisk. This part is pretty simple. We whisk so that the sugar can be dispersed properly. That's all. Once that has taken place, what we are going to do is now we're going to bring this to a boil. Please make note that you do not see me using the whisk anymore. This part right here will be something very familiar to you guys as to when we were making pastry cream, right? Except when we were making a pastry cream, here resided a whisk. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Right? And then we went back with a whisk and we finished it with a whisk, right? We won't, because if you foam this up, right, you will also separate the cranberry juice. Okay? If you foam this up, you will go in there. Some part of it will cook faster, but it will look like you're not doing anything wrong because every time you're actually agitating, right, looks like it's getting better and better. But in fact, you're not doing that. We want to make sure that we don't over aerate at all. We would like to make sure we encourage the yolks to start thickening the product, but making sure that the yolks never fully become solid. It's a little tricky, right, guys? This will not be a practical until you get to plated desserts, because this is a mother sauce that you have to be good at. Because if any of you guys are going to be working for a restaurant or for a hotel, they will make at least 5 gallons, 10 gallons of these. And if you cannot do a small batch, there's no way you're going to be able to do a big batch. Yes, guys? I'm waiting for this thing to come to a boil. What?
Oh, that's just what happened.
That? Right there? Somebody's melting chocolate. The nerve. So again, the sugar, I want you guys to understand that I just eyeballed it about 50-50. Okay, guys?
Yes.
Okay? Both to protect the liquid and the yolk.
Huh?
Okay, came to a boil. So I'm going to temper it in. I like the way you saw me, but this time I'm using a rubber spatula. Let the egg base get acclimated. Don't shock it too fast. Point of concern at this point in time is that I'm going to go ahead and dip it with my plastic spoon as to just illustrate how there's no body that sits. It's just liquidy and just sustained by where it actually dribbled. You understand what I'm saying? It actually flowed here, but there's nothing sustainable. So this is liquid. Yes? Right? We've established that. Good. We're going to go back to the pot. And this entire product is going to go back to the pot. Our movement is going to be a figure 8. And this figure 8 will continue at all times. You will not stay on one spot doing figure 8. Your figure 8 will be a continuum. Does that make sense? Okay? Basically, you're scraping the bottom. Everybody got that? Medium low heat. I made a mess. We are trying to get to a stage that is called à la nappe. Some people call it nappe. That is It's not the right way to pronounce it. Now, we must cook a plastic spoon, and it must hold as a unison body, not something that looks like cooked and then water running down, not like that. Something creamy, something that looks absolutely beautiful to look at. The reason why this is important, guys, is that this will be a base for a lot of your white chocolate, a lot of your Bavarians. This is going to be your ice cream bases. You have to get good at this. Everybody got that?
Yes,
Yes, chef. You look so passionate about it. Like you want to come do some figure eights.
I'm being Brian Boitano right now. You guys notice I took it off the heat, right guys? Please do that periodically, because what you don't want, you don't want to have any part that's cooking. What I noticed when I took it off was that the bottom had a little film. Now there's a difference between a little film that is thick as to scrambled eggs. Does that make sense? Okay. So I want you guys to understand that that film is something that you need to move. Now I'm going to lower the heat even more. So now it's low, low. Once you have that little film show up, just lower it. I'm going to go back. I'm just going to finish it up so that it's beautiful. All right. The clearest indication is your rubber spat. Now you know you're ready. And the size of your palm. The size of your palm. I'm going to go ahead and just place it into my original. It's hot right now. You understand what I'm saying, guys? This thing is hot. But you guys notice that this thing is not really geared to sustain things, right, guys? But when I dip it in there, you see how the level of the cream is sustainable. Does that make sense to you guys? Right? So it's not like a single drip. It doesn't disappear that way. And also, you can actually coat the side. Everybody got that? But this is hot right now. So that's why it's important for you guys to realize that this is the time you need to take it away, not when it's like completely coating it when it's hot. Because if it's completely coating it and has no movement, when it's cold, guess what? It will show that you overcooked it. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to go ahead and chill it in an ice bath right away. Because I don't want this thing to continue cooking.
So I'm supposed to get my thinking in there.
This is it. This is where we want to be. But remember, it's hot, right? I'm going to get this thing cold, and now you guys are going to be able to see the real sauce. So we want this thing ice cold, guys. And you will see as you are cooling it, you will start thickening. You can tell crème anglaise that's bad from a mile away. A mile away, guys. Because the yolks are very, very finicky. What you don't want to do is you never want to overcook your yolks. So you get an early start of the concept of making anglaise. So by the time you get to plate it, you are going to have another session. But you'll get good at it. You need to get good at the mother sauce. This is the only sauce that I would say that differentiates, whether you are going to be working in the restaurant or hotel, because a lot of bakeries won't be really making this more often than hotels and restaurants, because this is a serviceable sauce. Not salty. I'm just cooling. Just cooling. Just an ice bath, and I'm just cooling. I just want to make sure I leave that. So that's what it looked like in the beginning. Just make sure it's cold before you do the test. And then you dip a plastic spoon in there. And now this time you see how it just sustains. See how it sustains? Right, guys? Okay, so that's what you guys are looking for. And as time elapses, your sauce will become thicker. So there's two clear differences right there. Okay, guys?
Yes, chef.
Now, this thing that you guys are doing tomorrow is something that you guys get an early practice. Okay, guys? You are not going to get graded on this, right? But this is something that I want you guys to make sure that you understand. We're starting you off early. Okay, guys? It's part of the curriculum, which I completely agree. You guys get to do the mother sauce in here. Okay, guys? So that's basically how you do your creme anglaise. Come on up. Let's have a taste, guys.